Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to install Mac OS in VirtualBox in Linux. On the screen you can see the requirements. It's VirtualBox and Mac OS ISO file and a decent PC with at least 30 GB of extra space. Other are the settings that we'll be using in future steps, so please note those, and also note the name Mac OS. So let's start by creating a virtual machine for Mac OS and click on next. Similarly, set up the memory size depending upon your system, and other steps you can pretty much leave those steps to default. It should have no effect on the process. So basic settings are done, so let's do some more tweaks, especially here. Let's remove the floppy, and I would like to increase the processor to 4. Similarly, the video memory also, I want to increase it to maximum. Next, let's mount the ISO file as an optical drive. It's right here, Mac OS High Sierra. So I'm using this ISO file for today's video. And other settings, you can leave everything to default. It shouldn't have any effect on our process. So now it's time for us to implement the settings that I showed you at the start of the video. And all we have to do is paste it in the terminal and run those settings. So these settings are actually very important. At first I skip those settings and end up stuck in the installation window at this screen. So please make sure you apply those settings. And now, okay, so let's set up the disks for our operating system, and from here the virtual hard disk that we created in the previous step. Let's set it up. Let's give it a name OS and erase, and make sure it has the correct format to install the Mac OS. And next we need to install the Mac OS. It will take a while. Oh, it looks like some error popped up and it's saying that our ISO file is corrupt. I think it's not that our ISO file is corrupt, it's the ISO file is old. So let's set our date to few years back so that the installer will be valid. So let's restart again and try. I think it should work this time. We are going through the same process again. And we are back to the previous screen, and let's select the language. And I once again click on install Mac OS. I hope we proceed. Yes, we are through the previous steps. So let's click on continue and agree to the terms and select the partition that we created in previous step. Okay, so we are going through the installation process, and it took me a while, like maybe 30 to 40 minutes. in this video I'm fast forwarding the process so that the video won't be long for you guys, but please expect a minimum of 30 or maybe plus minus some minutes depending upon your system. Okay, now it's time for us to set our country and click on continue. So keyboard layout, click on continue. You can pretty much click on next and click on don't sign in. Okay, skip this step because we don't have an Apple ID. So let's create an account, and this should be it. Okay, setting up, and we are almost there. A few tests to identify our keyboard layout, and it looks like we are done. So this is how you can install Mac OS in your Linux. I use Ubuntu, but the steps are pretty much similar, and you can follow these follow the steps that I showed you. And one thing you must have noticed that our screen wasn't taking the full size, so let's add the last setting to make it full screen. I use 1920 by 1080p because it's the size of my screen. You can adjust it according to your size, and I'm already seeing it full screen. So for the final test, let's enter again, and there it is at full screen. So I hope you like the video, and see you guys.